Welcome to the first topic of our customer service training course. In this section, we will be discussing what customer service is at Low Medical, the type of cases that we handle, and how to create a case. So, what is customer service at Low Medical? At Low Medical's, customer service is the heart of our operations. But why? Because we guide our stakeholders to solve their problems that they are facing by explaining what can be done and how we will do it. When I say that we guide our stakeholders through their problems, I'm referring to cases. So cases are situations that will bother to us, that will report it to us with the intention of being resolved. So an example of reports of cases that we receive in the customer service department can be a distributor reporting a malfunction equipment, an internal error. For example, if we did something wrong when we were doing the configuration of a wheelchair, for example, would be an internal error. A requesting for a warranty, a customer concern, all of those reports are going to be associated for a type of cases. Right now, we have 5 types of cases that would be cases related to product, to the service, concern, sales order error. That was when I was saying that it was an internal error, or missing invoice. Okay, during this process, the customer service department will contact the manufacturer to request, in most of the cases, a warranty that could be or could be not accepted, all depending on the type of product, what is saying in the manual, the time that was bought it. But so we can understand better how this process works, I'm gonna show you a scenario where we have a sales representative that sold a quick shoe by Sunrise Medical to his client, and he received the product on July 1st. 2 months after the sale, his client contacted him, reporting that one of the brakes is malfunctioning and is not working properly. So right now he's requesting a replacement of the warranty. So just so we can understand what is happening here in this scenario, this client bought this chair in July 1st. 2 months later, he had a brake that is not working anymore. Right now, he needs a replacement. What the sales representative will do is create a case with all the information of the wheelchair and the user's information, and the customer service department will take charge of the case and communicate to the vendor. In this case, would be Sunrise, to request a replacement at no cost for the chair. As this chair was bought recently in July, the parts are still under their warranty policy, and the manufacturer can send a new one with no cost, meaning under their warranty. That could be a different situation if the chair, for example, was bought in 2020, which will lead the parts not being under warranty anymore because of the time that was bought it. So if this client, if he bought the same chair in 2020 and he wants to replace it right now, would have a cost for him to do so. So right now I'm going to teach you how to create a case and how to add all of the information that we need so we can contact the manufacturer. So like I mentioned in the scenario before with this client that needed a replacement for his Quickie 2, every time that a customer contacts a sales representative, it's necessary to create a case so we can document with all of the information regarding the users and the chair, and so we can report and contact the manufacturer. So in all of the cases, with no exception, we will have when the problem happened, how it happened, the evidence that proves the damage, that meaning pictures or videos, and what is the solution that this client is looking for. So let's break down how create a case. I'm going to show you what is in NetSuite, how we create a case. Okay, so this is the model of a case that we're going to see in NetSuite. So when you create a case, it's necessary to fill all the key information that will help us to understand what the problem is and what we can do from there so we can help this customer. In the primary information, you're going to find the subject. This is the first information that we see after we create a case, as you can see right here in the top left. The subject, you say, what is the problem that needs attention to? And the invoice, the issues related. For example, right here is a package with 2 units of J that was not delivered to UPS, and the number of invoice that this 2J is related to. Under the subject is the status of the cases. Every time that you create a case, you must leave the status has not started. And once the customer support department start to work with the case, he will change the status of the case, which can be gathering key information of the case. That is when we still need an information to to proceed with the case. In progress, that would be that he already have all the information to continue with the case. Waiting for customer reply, that means that we are waiting for the customer's reply. Escalated is when we escalated the case to a superior. Reopen is after we solved the case was closed, and then right now the customer came back to us saying that is another problem. We are gonna reopen the case, and close is when we close the case. In company, that's your client's company. For example, Cookstyle, Bernard, Best Care, and etc. When selecting the company, it should automatically fill the option subsidiary. For example, Activa is from Lusa, and shows the contacts that work in the company. So when you put the name of your company here in the part company, it's gonna show who works there. On contact, the sales representative will select which employee we are in contact with and automatically will show the person's email and phone number. But it's always important to confirm if this information is correct. So even that when you choose here, that is Jose, is going to show automatically his email and his phone number. It's always important to confirm it's correct because the customer department will contact by those informations that are right here on the right. Assigned to would be the sales representative name for Lusa or the customer service contact for the subsidiary responsible for creating that case. So right here, under the primary information, we have incident information. The incident information, you have the incident date, that is when that happened, the priority. When you create the case, you must leave as normal. Okay, and the customer support will decide if it is normal, high, or if we have to escalate the case to the superior. The vendor, right here is who sold the product. Can be Sunrise, Indigo, Rifton, or if you're a subsidiary, you add which subsidiary sold you the product, like Lusa. The type is the type that we are talking about in the beginning of this course. So that we have the right now we have assembling, configuration, service, product, missing invoice, in concern that we already explained. And here is the product line associated to the type of the product. So the product line is the type of product that's being reported, that it can be delivery issues or a product that is hygiene, can be the one low products, the one low that is Limosa, Imajut, can be other one low products not listed. You have all of these options here and you see which one will be the one that is going to be with the case. For the product line is what happened that is related to the type of cases. So it can be Felix, can be complex rehab wheelchair. You have to find which one fits better to the reports that you are making. Right here, in case issue, you will select this box in case if to solve the problem a warranty is needed. So for example, if you need, in the first scenario that we described it, that the customer need a replacement for the brakes of his Quick 2 would be a warranty request. So you have to select this part right here, this case issue. In the section communication, you will find all the information that sustain the selections made above. They are also divided by topic. You have message, that here you will find the email that is related to this case. That means that any email that the sales representative had with their client, as well the communication that the customer service had with the client, would be saved right here through Celigo. You can find this extension by the Celigo on your Google email. In the parts activities, on activities, you will find the information such as phone calls, that is right here. In this case, you have a phone call, Heido had a phone call with Jose, a video conference, task, or any activity that happened during the process. Here you can see that during the process, we have a call with the client to confirm if the package arrived. When you click in the little window that I just clicked, it will pop up with the information of the call. So this call was made on August 24th, and the message and say, I called Jose to confirm if the customer arrived, and it did. He will send us the docs to prove that he had to pay the warehouse the extra day of storage until the J arrive. So this is the part of the activities. Okay, in files, when we report a situation to a manufacturer, it is important to have pictures, videos, or documents that we can use as evidence to show our vendor that what we report is happening and we have a proof that is happening. Saying that, all the evidence that you add in the section files after the you or any person that wants to check the case can see the document just by clicking on the titles. For example, if I click in this title right here, it's gonna show the UPS notification. Over here, it's gonna show the invoice that the sales representative added on this case. On user notes, that is beside files, this section is more used to be is more used by the responsible to manage the case, in this case, the customer support department. And you will find resumes of what happened in this case, such as why it was created and the key information to solve the issues. On calls, beside activities on the topic calls, you can also add the calls that you had with anyone provided any information, made a request or anything related to the case, but through a phone call. The other sections called related records, metrics, escalation, system information, custom, Google Drive, and Gmail will be used for the customer support as internal tools and are not needed in order to create a case. So after all of this information that will fill on this case, you will save it under the case, and our number will be generated automatically. So this number right here is gonna be made just after you save the case. So when you're creating, you're gonna be, I believe that is gonna be number to be defined, and then you save, you're gonna have a number. Okay, so you fill all of those informations, you create the case, what happened next? So once we receive the case, we'll analyze if any extra information is needed, and if not, we will start reading what the issue is, check the pictures of the damage, see if the warranty form was filled in case data replacement is needed, and review the invoice so we can see when it was ordered and check if the warranty would apply to the case. We will always keep all the stakeholders informed during the whole process, but it's important at the beginning to inform the client the time frame of when they are going to have an update regarding the issue. The time frame changes because some vendors, for example, Sunrise Medical, they take 48 hours to answer back. By Rifton, they can take until 24 hours to answer back. So it's important at the beginning, always have the expectation of the client being clear so they can know what to expect.